Welcome, CDL fans, to a little preview of what's about to happen. No, Trophy ain't talking to you. It's me behind the trophy. But isn't this a pretty frickin' epic scene? Crash Bowl 20 soon to be taking place. And needless to say, yes, this trophy on the line, a best of one game, winner take all. The Tampa Bay Gators will be on the visitor side of the field, and on the home side of the field will be the Chicago Wind Attack. Saturday, July 9th is not far off, folks. That being said, Buffalo, New York, figuratively and literally speaking, the site of Crash Bowl 20. It's where the game began. Sheridan Projects, 1997. It's where it all got started. All comes to a head here. We got one of the original six. I know, I gotta check. One of the original six teams, the Western Conference champions, Chicago Wind Attack, making their first ever Crash Bowl appearance against the defending Eastern Conference champions, back-to-back Eastern Conference champions, the Tampa Bay Gators, and neither team or their owner has ever won a Crash Bowl. You got Jim Hull Sr., who's been a CDL owner since the 2011 season, and in that season, Chicago made it to the Western Conference Finals. They hadn't been there since until this season in the Crash Bowl now. First ever Crash Bowl appearance, as a matter of fact. And Brandon has been in the league since 2013, and this is his second Crash Bowl appearance. He doesn't have a world title, though. So that being said, some fun stuff. Neither owner, though, ever winning the Crash Bowl. Of course, Alex Johnson defeated Tampa Bay last year with the LA Blades. That being said, epic matchup, great matchup. We got a mirror match. So that being said, yes, we are going to go through a little preview of this game and the championship game here for Toy Car Demolition Derby, as far as I know, in the world. So that being said, let's run through it. First off, let's get a look at how we think these lineups will look come game day. So here we get a good look at the lineups. They have team jerseys and everything. Yeah, we went all out with this kind of cool stuff here. But yes, as you can get a look at the lineups that I predict that these teams will bring in the Crash Bowl 20. Now, the advantage to Chicago, they are the higher seeded team. They won the Cobb Award, after all, best regular season record in the league. And that being said, they are the number one seed. The thing is being on the home side of the field, sure, they get the last change, but Tampa Bay, on the visitor side of the field, you could say has a chance to set the pace, set the tone of the game, and this is what I personally predict. Now, if you've been following the game, or anyone that's been following the game, you probably make your own predictions, but being that I don't have any partner in crime here on the show to give you their analysis, I can give you mine. At the very least, give you mine. I'm predicting what Brandon will do from the visitor side of the field, and kind of a relatively safe move. Now, Ratified, leading the way, number 86, Ratified. Yes, Ratified, kind of a car that's got that offensive side to him. He's kind of a sort of a smash mouth car, but it's kind of a smash mouth offense. He's got kind of a slope front end that he has gained over time of being in the league. And he's been somewhat effective, and actually very effective in the playoffs, and it's been a tandem between him and 48 Hours. 48 Hours, better known for his defensive capabilities, and he's made defense look pretty, but he's been doing well offensively in these here playoffs. These two cars have led the front three mostly these whole playoffs long, and they have not failed yet. As a matter of fact, they have won their last 18 games, including regular season, the Tampa Bay Gators, en route to getting here. So, including an overtime win over the Chicago Wind Attack. And keep in mind, on that game day, Tampa Bay was on the visitor side of the field. So they're going to probably, more than likely, I think, stick with something that has worked, and that is a lineup right there that has worked for the Gators all playoffs long. And then, of course, 47 running at the captain spot is definitely 47 Ronan is going to be a threat no matter where he is. He is very good defensively. And then Battle as a little 5-point gainer with which can play a major role. Maybe not going to play maybe the most major role, but definitely they have Battle at that 5-point gainer. He's pretty good defensively. He's known as the car with the brain. His kind of seems like toy cars are toy cars. I know that, folks, but it sometimes seems like a car can have almost like field presence, almost like how a wide receiver knows how to keep his feet in bounds when catching a football almost. Battle just seems to know where he is on the field when he's flying around and stuff. It just seems like he knows. But needless to say, a very talented Tampa Bay squad. Could Brandon mix it up a little bit? Might he pull 47 Ronan out of the captain spot? Maybe. And the reason why you see Highlight at the captain spot for the Chicago Wind Attack. How important is that? Well, Highlight is the same model as 47 Ronan. And therein runs the risk. Now, don't get me wrong. Chicago has other cars that are good defensively. As a matter of fact, both these teams are built heavily really around defense, especially with a car like R and Synchro at 5-point gainer. That is a defensive squad. The thing is, Synchro seems to have been having troubles this season. Even when he was with New Mexico, he was struggling. The trade made to Chicago. But you could say the same thing about 48 Hours. The only thing is 48 Hours as of late has been really stepping it up. So if you go to the weakest link, Synchro definitely might be the weakest link in this game, or maybe even Battle. Now, Battle, like I said, he seems to have that field awareness, but at the same time, hasn't been the best season for him for that vehicle. So we are going to have to really keep an eye out on that. Kind of the weakest links at 5-point gainer spot might not be something that these teams want to get into, but would Brandon want to risk putting maybe Ratified at 5-point gainer against a car like perhaps maybe they would put Blue Dragon from the Chicago side. Jim Hull Sr. might do that at the 5-point gainer spot, and Blue Dragon has been spectacular, especially since getting pulled up from the development league at really pretty much at the trade deadline, folks. So Blue Dragon definitely a threat to look out for, and if he can get that offense going, even from the front runner spot, could be dangerous. But the thing is, what's going to be the strategy? Is it going to be to get points quickly, or is it going to be basically to play with a lot of defense and avoid your cars getting flipped? And this is kind of a 50-50 thing when you got identical models at the captain spot. Well, folks, that becomes a challenge because that is a 50-50 battle. Two of the same model cars, you can't really anticipate. But needless to say, we don't know what we're going to see. Some different strategies that maybe Chicago could do to retaliate to this is maybe put Highlight at the middleman spot and put R at the captain spot. R's a pretty good defensive car, and he might match up pretty well. But again, we won't know till Saturday, July 9th. So definitely some entertaining things to look into. So as a matter of fact, got the special guests right here at CDL Studios. Let's get a real look at these cars instead of just jerseys that we've been looking at for 6 minutes. So folks, for those of you who like visual aid, here you go. Visual aid. This is the projected lineup. Ratify 48 Hours, 47 Ronan, and of course Battle at 5-point gainer. Front runner Blue Dragon on the Chicago side, followed by R, and Highlight Synchro at the 5-point gainer spot. So they met on May 11th, went in overtime. We are going to see that matchup. Tampa Bay got the win, so yeah, I know, spoiler alert, but needless to say, we're going to get a look at just what made that game so great. Maybe it'll give us a little hint as to what to expect on Crash Bowl Saturday. But that being said, it was a different lineup on that day, and this is how things look. So what could why would Brandon possibly change it up if he still won that game? Well, because this guy from the middleman spot had a 1-0-1 day. So that being said, switch it around. If he was able to get a tie, that'd be Ratified was able to get a tie with Blue Dragon in that regular season game, perhaps, just maybe, perhaps, he'd be able to tie this game up right away. But then therein does lie some sort of a problem. Can 48 hours yet again get a solid flip on R? So therein lies the strategy of could he get a flip on R? But the thing is, Chicago could just maybe keep things exactly the same. Yeah, I know. I'm like switching it all up. So in anticipation, and this is going to be a good reminder for the team owners when they go through and see this game yet again, the one meeting that they had all season, to maybe prepare. A lot of unpredictability. That game could have gone either way. I mean, 47 Ronin is capable of beating Highlight just as much as Highlight's capable of beating 47 Ronin, for crying out loud. They're the same exact model. It's kind of really a coin toss. It could come down to that front runner spot, of course, and who can do the most damage early. So, going to be some very crucial stuff to look into as, of course, we head into the Crash Bowl on Saturday, July 9th. So, all that being said, folks, let's get a look at that May 11th matchup. What these teams will do. I really, really, really wish I had a co-host to kind of give a difference of opinion on things, on what they think will happen, but needless to say, going in alone here, giving what I think would happen. And I think Chicago would actually answer the call because you got to have confidence in R. R is a good car. He's capable of getting the job done. Blue Dragon has been hot in the playoffs, all things considered. So he was especially hot in that series against New Orleans. So, all remains to be seen. One game to decide it all, but let's see how they did on that May 11th game day. I know I already gave you the spoiler, so I guess this is if you want to watch it. And, yeah, that's what I'll leave you with. The May 11th edition of CDL Live, it was the main event. Tampa Bay and Chicago. Well, folks, it is main event time, and the front runners are on the field. 48 hours out there for the Tampa Bay Gators. For the Chicago Wind Attack, it is R out there. And it is game on here in our main event of this May 11th game day, and it is a 5-0 lead for the Tampa Bay Gators. 48 hours getting the flip, and now goes head-to-head with Blue Dragon from the Chicago side. Both these cars new additions to their team this season. Blue Dragon in 48 hours, but off screen, 48 hours is down. So, down cleanly off screen, and now it is ratified out there for Tampa Bay. Game tied at 5. Kind of a smash mouth versus aerodynamic offense. Both cars able to survive that one. This time a little wobbly by ratified. Able to stay in the game, as is Blue Dragon. This time both cars are down, and we are tied at 10. And here come the boys from the captain's spot. Highlight out there for Chicago. You could tell him by the piece of tape that wraps around the middle there. And that is 47 Ronin for the Tampa Bay side. You can tell the single piece of tape kind of trying to hold them together there. So that's the differences between these two vehicles. Other than that, there is no difference. Same exact model on the field. And one small kind of difference. 47 Ronin, of course, the 2015 MVP. So, Gators with 47 Ronin. Highlight out there for the Wind Attack. Tied at 10. Both cars staying up on the first collision. Two identical models. It is a mirror match. Who remembers old Mortal Kombat games? As these two go head-to-head, and it's going to be Highlight getting the flip. 47 Ronin is down, and that will bring out battle for Tampa Bay. Looking to force overtime. Highlight going for the win. 15-10. Wind Attack in the lead, and not anymore. Battle has a good flip there. Highlight goes down. So the Gators and the Wind Attack in the main event of this May 11th game day are going in overtime, as Rick Jenneret would say. Synchro out there for the Wind Attack, another new addition to their team this season before the trade deadline. They made a little move between them and New Mexico. But out there for the Tampa Bay Gators is Battle, the car with the brain. as he's been called. Can he get the job done here against Synchro? Both cars going at it. Both cars able to stay up on the first few collisions here in overtime. Tied at 15 between the Wind Attack and the Gators, and yes, a little do-si-do there. They'll go back on their own sides. Let me get a close-up shot of that, please. Just keep that stable for. You know what? I want this on my iPod cover now. It's official. That's what I want on my iPod cover. Please be stable enough to get a still shot on that when I do the editing. Please. So we back the cars up, go on their own sides, and they'll go at it again. Synchro and Battle, still battling it out. No pun intended. But needless to say, the car with the brain is doing the smart thing, staying low and stable as the Synchro and Battle able to get them off balance, and the win goes to Tampa Bay, 20-15 in overtime. So the Gators just edging out the Chicago Wind Attack, and what a main event. So there you have it, folks. That's pretty much it right there. In full detail, you saw the whole game. And while I do think Chicago will answer the call, I definitely think Tampa Bay will present the challenge to make them answer the call. So a lot of questions go into it. This was a game where Battle was a hero. He wasn't exactly a hero all season long. He had his downfalls, but so did Synchro. Could have come down to who's going to have the stronger 5-point gainer. You know, could possibly get to that. But folks, one thing is for certain. Should be a great Crash Bowl here in 2016. Crash Bowl 20, Saturday, July 9th. You ain't going to want to miss it. That being said, here's a little something to amp you up for game day, especially if you're one of the fans of these teams. The Gators getting the win over the Los Angeles Blades Wednesday, as you see them both making great moves, but this going down. How quick is this? Quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House. It's to no avail because right after that, 47 Ronan is an animal. He's almost goes down there, good survival technique, and this time Carr has the football. 28 off screen, and then strong hit by Carr. And this time, Carr finishes the deal right there, and a little bit more. So close to 47 Ronan on his team, same with Highlight, and Highlight has the foot there, and there, ratified. Sub-Zero going at it, and Sub-Zero is down, finishing series over. Needless to say, we get a successful first round, and successful here today. The Wind Attack getting the win in overtime. They take a 1-0 series lead. And this maker here, May. Could he do it? This time, not going to happen. It was looking to keep him alive. Game 1 flip away, and it is indeed a flip away. 48 hours is a feast in this series right now. So here we go. T-Drake from the Gladiators, T-Dragon from Chicago's Gladiators. First collision of the Western Conference. I find it on my own. Out there looking to keep the Gladiators alive in this game. Not gonna happen. Donut serve for dinner. All-star team. And just got to think, my goodness, of Philadelphia. It's in overtime, almost hit. Pretty good defensively, but not good enough there. And the Gators in a huge comeback in game 1. Both of them, but in the end, right there, it is done and dusted.
equalize. 47 Roman for the win, and 47 Roman has just sent the Tampa Bay Gators to Crash Bowl 20.